Every sin begins with a thought. Thoughts in themselves are never sinful. They're fleeting most of the time. They come and go. It's when they are dwelled upon or when they are not taken captive. You got to be like a police officer and arrest them right away. Otherwise, that they can get out of hand. And it's the devil's number one tool. It leads to temptation, to sin. Let's start with the basics. Let's start with impure thoughts. And they come at me all the time. They come at a lot of people all the time. But they're just thoughts, and they don't have to be entertained. Oh, the devil's going to dress them up real pretty, and if you don't like the one way, he'll dress them up another way. But they're not dangerous, and they're part of life if you don't focus on them, if you don't let them in. Yeah, you have to open the door to them, and then they fester and they grow and they become like a cancer, and they take over and they can corrupt your whole soul. But otherwise, they're just building tools. They're just ways to learn self-discipline. What about thoughts of irritation towards other people? They come and go too. You know, they could be like a little bee buzzing around in your head, annoying, but you don't have to focus on them again. Anything can become huge. You can turn a thought and commit adultery in your heart. You know, if you dwell on it, you can let a thought, a little irritation, get on your nerves and think about it constantly, and it becomes hatred. So thoughts can be dangerous if you let them grow. They can become like a jungle and take over your whole life. Jealousy, once again, worrying about what someone else is doing, that's a waste of time too, because what's it got to do with me? Everything I tell you is something I deal with, or else how could I even bring it up? Something that I'm sure most people deal with. But thought becomes sin when it's entertained, when you keep going back to it and thinking and liking it and letting it take control of your mind. Through Christ, we are given a new mind. We have to respect that. We don't want to give our mind over to the devil. Our mind is made new in Christ, and it's full of beautiful thoughts. Things that I never really cared about before, like in nature and stuff. Now they matter. Now God's creation matters, and even looking at an insect can be fascinating because it's God's creation, and that's having a new mind in Christ. It's a gift, and I don't want to fill my mind with junk. I don't want to fill it with garbage. I want to fill it with beautiful things. Think on all things lovely. And if it becomes a habit, then the nasty thoughts become diminished. Once again, if a thought irritates you, makes you anxious, it's a bad thought. If it gives you peace and calm, it's a good thought. Now the devil's a seducer. He is. And he'll give you some lurid thought and try to make it pretty and soothing and comforting. Big fat lie. But it's not a sin unless we take it in, unless we allow it to run around our mind and keep us focused on it. Give it to Jesus. Take it captive. Give it to Jesus. Bind it, give it to Jesus, and let him throw it away. But thoughts can be powerful, or they cannot be. It's a choice. Sin is always a choice. And there is a difference between serious sin and sin that is not so serious. For example, you see someone you have bad feelings for, and you think, I'd like to hit that guy or whatever. That's just minor. You let it go. But if you take that thought and you work on it and build it up into something big and actually plan some harm to harm that man, that person, then it becomes serious sin. There is a difference, but it all matters. It starts with the little seed, this little thought. Don't let it grow into a big old jungle that's going to just mess up your life, because it will. And have peace, because our minds are new in Christ, and if they're fixed on Him, we're not gonna fall for Satan's little tricks, his little sideshows that he's always putting on for us.